That brings us to our second pitch. This creator pitch in the Artist Gallery, creator project rather, is Project Atrium. Project Atrium. Project Atrium is creator number 20196. Their Twitter handle is @MochaJax, by the way, in case you want to follow them.
Hi everyone. My name is Sean Thurston. I'm here to talk to you about Project Atrium, which is taking place directly behind you over at the Museum of Contemporary Art. And if you haven't checked it out already, please do so after I speak, or after everyone's done speaking. Those are beautiful watercolors, by the way. Well, this is me laughing. Can we go to the next slide? This is actually a shot of First and Main in Springfield, a neighborhood that I grew up. And it's one of the first satellite pieces that I did for Project Atrium, and the idea was to bring what was happening in the area, in the gallery, out into the surrounding neighborhoods, to actually physically share it with the people of downtown and the rest of Jacksonville. Again, this is State and Main. These are old pieces of plywood that were used to cover broken windows, waiting for these buildings to be leased out and hopefully renovated, and then possibly incorporate murals into the future design. And really it's just about color popping up in areas that I felt a need for, because my entire project is about seeing a need that I could actually fulfill. And public art in the city is something that I believe really does improve the quality of life, and I do have the ability to contribute to the landscape, so I've done so. With funds from One Spark last year, I was able to complete 20 murals along with support from Project Atrium. So any of the funds, half of all the funds that I'm going to receive from this One Spark will go back into Project Atrium. They do have the funds to keep the museum up and running successfully, and Project Atrium is just a bonus extra for the community, so I would like to help ensure that we can continue to fund artists. So half of those funds will go into that, and I will continue to use the other half to pay for materials and bring more public art into the streets of Jacksonville. I'm working with property owners. Mac Easton and Elias Hyanides from Petra are on board about getting some of this work done, and I'm working with other artists so that I'm not the only one doing it. So this is the project that was completed, and it's the elevated form of what I was doing on the streets. It's an example of what can be done with added resources. And this is a 40-foot mural. I'm working with my friend Chemist here, who was a great help and part of the reason that I was able to work so quickly. So again, I will use the funds to incorporate help from other artists. This is the top of Chambliss. You might be familiar with this. This is actually a project that I did with art in public places. And again, community funded art, just helping to improve the quality of life. This is the side of Salty Fig, a for-profit business, so they were able to pay me, and I was able to do even more. This is the largest mural, square footage-wise, that I've done to date. And you know, I'd love to work with clients and pull off huge projects. This is the inside of Sunray Cinema. While they were starting up, they gave me a lot of freedom, and I worked with them on the concepts of, you know, old B movies that were actually shot in Florida. So again, tying into the local culture and illustrating it through my artwork. This is a piece that is done at 3rd Street out at Jacksonville Beach. It's on the side of Green Room Brewery, and it's showcasing some aquatic species that aren't so common. It's actually a nudibranch, and most people don't understand what that is. So just to create the question so that people can go forward and gain a little new knowledge about the sea was my point with this one. This is inside of the Blind Rabbit, which is the partner of the Blind Fig. They started to use the speakeasy prefix. So it was Salty Fig, and then it became Blind Fig. I know there's some confusion about that, but they are brothers that own both companies. And again, for-profit businesses, able to pay the artists, and I am 100% behind getting artists paid as well, but I also want to work with charities that have no budget for extra projects, and these funds will go towards that. You know, this is the side of Cork. This is the Schultz Center. They were able to at least pay for paint, and because of Mocha's support, I was able to get out there and complete this piece in about 3 days. This is the thrift store to First Coast No More Homeless Beds, and they have zero budget. Ready Arts was one of the sponsors for this, and I paid for the rest of the paint and spent a week doing each one of these portraits because people were not making the connection between the funds from the thrift store going towards the shelter. So I really wanted to make that visual connection, and they say that it has increased business for them. This is Caddyshack Ranch, Wildlife Rescue, zero budget for a mural. Sunray Cinema did a fundraiser, and we were able to put a portrait of one of their rescue animals onto the side of their medical building. I did this one for the last one, Spark, just to basically take an open parking lot and transform it, and with the spirit of Florida. Again, here's another shot of the inside of the atrium, and like I said, it's the elevated form of what I'm able to do on the streets. 1 second, 0 seconds, I'll take some questions.
All right, we'll open up to our jurors. Give them a round of applause, thank you. All right, this is Project Atrium, and jurors, go ahead.
Hey Sean, can you talk a little bit about your decision to give half your proceeds to MoCA for Project Atrium?
It was an easy decision. They've been very supportive of me. I would not have had the presence or the marketing or the ability to complete 20 murals without their support. So just the idea that I can give back is really the sole purpose.
Hi, Sean. What do you see as your place within the future of urban art in Jacksonville?
I'm working to remove a lot of the obstacles that property owners have to deal with and signage ordinances, and I'm also trying to make the artwork more accessible, to pull it away from an elitist sense that, you know, people make it for the culture, and if you don't understand it, then it's not for you. I'm really trying to just open it up to everybody, and then I would like to bring in other artists, specifically from Atlanta and New York, because those are the contacts that I have immediately, and Jacksonville artists to work with them and continue to paint pieces, you know.
Thank you. You actually, I had 5 questions and you covered them all in your pitch. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, Project Atrium.
Thank you.